Well, folks, here we are again for the weekly forecast. Of course, we have a major storm system moving through the Central Plains, and we'll get to that here in a few seconds. If we look back at this last week, the system that was expected to possibly give some accumulating snowfalls to eastern Nebraska essentially moved just slightly east of the state and dropped some pretty significant moisture across portions of west central all the way through eastern Iowa, and of course that swung through the upper Mississippi River Valley and Ohio River Valley and gave some very good accumulating snowfall. But for us, we do have a pretty significant weather maker that is dropping some significant snow across portions of the Panhandle, and we expect to see that progress eastward as the day goes on. So let's take a look at the upper air models and what we might expect as we go through this next 7-day period. And as we go to the upper air models, here is that big upper air trough that is starting to make its way toward the eastern Great Lakes. And on the backside, we have seen accumulating snowfall with blizzard conditions across the Panhandle, and we're expecting to see that slowly slide its way eastward as the day progresses. And possibly by the time we get to this afternoon, late evening hours, we'll start to see some snow developing across central Nebraska, and in front of it we'll see rain continuing along with some of the rainfall that we had last night. Might be expecting up towards an inch, maybe even an inch and a half of accumulated moisture in some locations, particularly those that may have seen a little bit of thunder. Now as we go to tomorrow, we're going to see this system progress rapidly toward the Great Lakes region, and we'll see a definite end to the precipitation across the east as the day progresses. There still may be some accumulating snowfall. It's a very brief window, but with the intensity of the storm, any snow that does fall will be big wet flakes, and it will come down rather rapidly, but still only expected maybe an inch or two across extreme eastern Nebraska. Northeast may see upwards of 3 or 4 inches of snow. Now as we get into Monday, we'll start to see that system progress toward the east. We'll start to see high pressure building in, and it looks to be a fairly benign conditions for the remainder of the week. As we get into Tuesday, of course, we've got a northwest flow, but most of the cold air will remain to the north of us, and we'll start to see a warming trend. And then as we get into Wednesday, we'll start to see things kind of flatten out. All the systems will progress toward from the west to the east, and most of the activity will remain north of Nebraska. But as we get into Thursday, there is a little bit of energy that may push down some cooler air into northeastern Nebraska, and we might actually see some light precipitation across extreme north central and northeast Nebraska, but the main brunt of the energy will remain well to our northwest. As we get into Friday, once again we start to see ridge building back in, and another trough starts to make its way into the western United States that might bring us some significant precipitation as we get later into the weekend or first part of the following week. So in terms of the temperatures, what we are looking at is temperatures basically in the upper 30s, cooling down in the northwest as the day progresses. We'll be in the upper 50s as we get into southeast Nebraska with a chance of showers and thunderstorms, and that will end as the day progresses, and the snow will start to move into central Nebraska. As we get into Sunday, we're looking at highs basically in the 29 to 35 degree range, and then we see clearing conditions with a moderating trend as the week progresses, with just a slight cool down as we get into the Thursday, Friday time frame. Now in terms of the temperatures out the 8 to 14 day forecast, we're looking for above normal temperatures with that ridge coming in, but also as that ridge comes in and the trough to the western United States, we'll start to see an increase in precipitation primarily during the second half of next week.